Yo, what up? This B-Boy Reg.
I'm DJ Butter, y'all.
Yeah, and this Funky Fresh in the Flesh podcast. We got a special guest with us today.
Bareda, a.k.a. Mr. Wrong, the lyrical legend right here. Yeah.
You know, what's cracking?
What's going on, man?
Oh, man, just maintaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's cool. Hey, so you saved my life, man. You don't even know it.
Word?
Yeah, yep. I was in the gym and I was like, you know, when you feel shit is real, grab your steel, save yourself. That was my shit.
Yeah. That's a funny song. A funny story about that song. I was living in LA and I was in the process, like I was kind of like in between, like I don't know if I was about to be homeless or I was about to be back on TV.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I was on Lyricist Lounge show.
Right.
And I got up one morning, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I was going through my notebooks. Just trying to find numbers.
Right.
So I started writing the first verse of that song. And you feel like,
right.
So everything, I sat at that table and wrote everything down. And then I found the lady's name. Her name was Pam. She was the casting director of MTV Carter. And they had been in production for 2 weeks trying to get back in touch with me.
Right.
So that song actually saved me too, because writing that song.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's crazy. That's
dope.
crazy.
Man, since you jumped to the Lyricist Lounge show, man. Man, talk about that experience, just rapping with the cast and Traci Ellis-Ross freestyling with you, all that stuff, man. It's really big for Detroit, man. It's like the whole community just waited for that moment. And we grabbed our popcorn waiting to see you on TV, bro.
Yeah, man, that was an exciting time in my life. But the crazy thing about it was how that story even unfolded was like, it's almost like some hip-hop storybook, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know if you can cuss or not, but it's like, it's some hip-hop storybook shit, you feel me?
Right.
Right.
Because me and Swift used to always ride to Def Jeff, his beats, like in the car, we had the Mazda 323. So we take a little recorder and set it between the seats, and we record it and play the instrumentals off the radio on the speaker. So
Right.
we always freestyle. And then after we freestyle for about 20 minutes, we'd go around and listen to it, and it was always Def Jeff beats, right?
Right.
So I moved to LA. I'm out there doing whatever. A friend of mine, she was cool with Def. She like, I got somebody that want to meet you. I'm like,
Right.
who? She's like, we gonna go up to the studio. Went up there, it's Def Jeff. I'm like, get the
God.
So he was a fan of the Rabies album. He had the Rabies
That's
album.
crazy.
Damn.
So it blew me out the water. Like, man, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Dropping
Like,
rhymes
so he
on
was like,
drums.
sure he put the album on plate. I was like,
Right.
get the fuck out of here. So we started talking. This became like my big brother because I stayed right down the street from his studio. So I started coming every day, right? So he was like, B, you funny as hell, bro. He's like, you should come audition for this TV show. You know what I'm saying? I was like, cool. But I was about to go on tour with Outkast and Goody Mob. We was about to go on the Coca-Cola tour.
Okay.
So we ended up leaving. So I'm on tour. And just to tell, like, all y'all, youngsters that want to get in the game, like, touring sound fun as hell, like, when some people talk about it. But that shit worked, and that shit, I'm talking about, I really was on the tip, like, yo, this shit, I'm ready to go to the crib. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the same thing every day.
Right.
Every day. It's continuous. So I'm on tour for about 3 months.
Right. Real quick, were you going on tour as a solo artist or as a group?
At the time, I'm a solo artist.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I was signed to 2620.
Okay, yeah.
With Kenny Burns and Vincent Herbert.
Dope.
You know what I mean?
All right.
So So while you're on tour, I'm ready to go home. So I use that as an excuse. I say, hey, I got an audition for a TV show. I need to go home.
Right.
And Kenny Burns like, nah, man, we on tour. Da, 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 da. I'm like, man, it's an opportunity. So they end up sending me home. I only went back because I really wanted to sleep in my own bed.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Went to the audition, went in, killed it, and the rest was history. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Man, shout out to Def Jeff, man.
Yeah, Def Jeff was a man, changed everything, you know?
He helped Boss and all those people too, Boss.
Yeah.
And then he helped Boss.
Yeah.
He did a production.
He
Yeah,
did everything.
yeah,
He did
yeah.
Boss, yeah.
Boss and D, yeah.
And that's where I first met Boss at, was at Def Jeff studio. I came in, she was in
Wow.
there. Yeah.
Boss,
Yeah, so we got
yeah.
reconnected.
Shout
She
out
was from
to
Detroit,
Boss.
you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
dope.
You know,
Man, talk about your times. You said so many names so quick. Talk about working with Swift and the Rabies, bro. Like, that time, like, the beat don't stop. That single was out. And it was big for our culture, man, at the time. Coming from the shop era, man. Talk about that. you
Yeah,
know?
see, it's crazy. Like, me and Swift, like, we grew up like family, like cousins. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been knowing each other since we was young, So we always say, like, that's family, right?
Right.
So as time went on, we start, like, I got a drum machine. So he used to always come over and we started doing beats, rapping, whatever. We went to, so in middle school, around the 8th grade, we tried out for the talent show, and in the talent show we didn't get it. Like we felt like we killed it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like damn, you know what I mean? Because we didn't get in. So I'm sorry, that was 7th grade. 8th grade we got into the talent show and killed it.
Okay.
I'm talking about killed it. Like so for the 9th grade year they trying to come up with money for graduation for all the students for graduation. So they came to us and said, we want to give y'all can y'all do a concert? Wow. So it's me and Swift. We got our own concert. Hampton Middle School.
Wow. Yeah. Swift from D12, y'all.
Swift from D12, right?
Yes.
So, so we said they got posters all over the school. You know, because at the time it was called the Narcotic Clan. That shit sound crazy.
That sounds crazy for school.
You know, the Narcotic Clan.
And they promoting that shit.
So they had it. I'm talking about everywhere. Promise we sold out. Right. Crazy. I'm talking about we went through the whole thing. We had the little lights. We had the smoke. Right. What we did, we took the buckets and put dry ice in them with the fans.
Yeah.
And blew it out on stage. I'm talking about, when I tell you, I'm talking about murdered it crazy. Ran out. We had a limo. They was chasing us outside in school like crazy, right? Then we did a TV show on channel with Mason. Remember Mason used to be on channel 6 something. He used to showcase people rapping. So we went right there after that.
Okay.
And killed that. So that right there caused us to start getting a name in the neighborhood. We young. We like in the 9th grade. You know what I mean? And then we run into DJ Dez. DJ Dez stayed on Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I stayed on Santa Rosa, Swift stayed. I stayed on Stouffville, Swift stayed on Santa Rosa. You know what I'm saying? And then Proof stayed on Santa Barbara down the street or across on Curtis, right? So we all came up right there. So as time went on, we get our bonds. We go to high school.
Tell them the high school I went to.
Went to Mumford.
Yeah, because we talked about that with Jack Frost, right?
Yeah, it's funny. You about to use that. No, be good. Now, Frost had left. He had left before me and Swift got there. So when we got to high school, his name was niggas was like, nigga, Jack Frost. Nigga, we used to be like, damn, who the fuck is Jack Frost? Like, I always tell this story because that's my nigga, that's my dog.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who the fuck is Jack Frost? Like, so we heard this, we was like, oh shit, Jack and like, oh shit, this nigga with the buffer.
Right.
So to us, this nigga was like, everywhere we went, it was like, that was the comparison. So we got to kill him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we ended up doing the town show at Mumford and killed it, and then we got that same notoriety, and it kind of went from there. Then the hip hop shop started and everything else, kind of kept going.
So who all was in the Rabies? I remember, but we want the audience to know.
You want the whole? You want the whole story? You want just a short?
We want the whole. We don't cut no shorts.
Yeah.
We want the whole shit.
Originally, me and Swift used to be called the Outcasts.
Okay.
We was called the Outcasts first, right? And then a winter happened, and a song came out with these niggas called Outcasts, and it fucked us out. We had everything. We had a logo, everything.
Right.
We like, damn, somebody that took our name. We sick. Right. And there's two of them, too. That. One kind of chubby, one named Andre, and Swift named Andre. We was like, this shit fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And so we kind of sick, right? So we trying to find ourselves, right?
Right.
Swift started rapping with this crew called the KCs, the KC Killers.
Okay.
And started rapping on some hood, because we was on some hip hop shit.
Right.
Something, put the rope around your neck and sing your ass bungee jumping. Like, that was too loud. I said that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But what happened was, like, Swift was like, I don't want to rap like that no more. So I was like, damn, bro, like, what you mean? He was like, I'm on something else. He was like, nigga, he was like, Bullet had your name on it. I got your brain on it. That's the type of shit that make you scared to say it's Slell Kane. I was like, damn, these niggas going crazy. Right. So it was a group. It was two friends of mine named PL and Damon Swain, and they used to call themselves the Children of the Corn.
Okay.
And the Children of the Corn, they ended up being
Cameron.
So these niggas came around. I'll never forget. We sitting on the porch, and they came around the block. Cause when Onyx was crazy, like we still in high school. These niggas got these hoodies on, these little. He was like, foaming out the mouth 'cause a nigga got the rabies. Foaming out the mouth 'cause a nigga got the rabies. We was like, what the fuck? We was like, we started, He's like, we the rabies, nigga.
Wow.
So me and Swift like, damn, that's sweet.
Right.
When Swift left and went to go start rapping with the KCs, they asked me to be in the group.
Right.
With the rabies. Right? Now, these two niggas short. right?
Right.
So I'm in this bitch looking like Sheik Luke, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, these my niggas, you know what I'm saying? I love your boys. But they were shorter than me, so in pictures, I'm looking all, you know, I was like, this shit kind of go crazy. We did a photo shoot, so we the rabies. We fall out with one of them, so it's just me and PL. PL goes down to Fat House. It was one spot, I forget where. This is how everything talking about how it all started. Because we wasn't even rapping at clubs yet. We was just in our neighborhood.
Right.
PL went down there and murdered. I'm talking about went crazy. And remember Lisa used to be on the radio?
Yeah.
She was down there and she talked about us on the radio. She was like, it was these guys named the Rabies. Da. So we like, oh shit.
Right.
So I told PL like, man, me and Swift, because Swift was like, I don't want to be with these niggas. Da. Let's get back together. Right. So I told PL like, nigga, I'm about to lead the group. I'm about to be me and Swift about to be back together a group. He was like, you ain't about to leave me over here, nigga. I'm coming with y'all. Came over here with me and Swift. So we the three. He was like, I made up the name. We the Rabies. Right. So we became the Rabies. That's us three. Right. PL went to Virginia to start selling dope with my cousin. My cousin down, he was like, I need some money, dog. So he got with my cousin. Went to Virginia, started slanging. While he's slanging, he get locked up. So he got time. We like, damn, PL got locked up. This nigga got about, I think it was like 10 years, something crazy. Right. So now it's me and Swift as the Rabies. Right. We got the reputation off of the shit he did down at the Fat House. So we end up, then Proof came, we met Proof. That's when he gave us these flyers with him with the chain, remember the overall with the chain thing with the Maurice Malone? Yeah. We was coming home from school. He gave it to. He was like, "What up?" He was like, "What?" He was like, "Y'all should come to the hip hop. It's a store." Wow. Right. He was like, "Damn." So we that's how we ended up going to the hip hop shop, and then Dez became the DJ and everything else. Right. We was all crew. You know what I'm saying? So that shit just took off like motherfucking hot. You know what I mean?
Man, a lot of people don't really know that some of Dilla's earlier workings was with y'all, you know.
First work.
Yeah.
Like first work, like real talk, like the story, and it's so funny. I'm glad we're having this conversation so this can be documented. So we go to Atlanta. Me and Swift, we fresh out of high school. A friend of mine came to us, Dez. Shout out to Dez Walker, my guy. He came up and was like, I want to manage y'all. We was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? We was like, we at the hip hop shop. At this point, like we like you know what I'm saying? My juice is flowing out because I'm like, shit, I'm out here killing niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because you know this the hip hop shop prime. Right. He was like, Jermaine Dupri want to meet with y'all. So me and Swift were like, hell yeah. So we end up, we all pack up and go to Atlanta. We drive to Atlanta. Me, Swift, and Dez. We get to Atlanta. He introduced us to my nigga Wendell, my big brother Wendell. Before we go to Jermaine Dupri, right? Wendell was like, he heard us rap, was like, fuck this shit. No. Right. Like, nigga, y'all from Detroit? Because he from Detroit. He was like, y'all from Detroit? Right. No, fuck that. We signing y'all. So we sit down like, damn. Right. They was like, you know, Jermaine Dupri, he got these people like these. They want to put you first. They going up. So we like, damn. So Wendell started giving us, you know, this nigga, you know, he giving us little cars to drop them on. You know how Detroit niggas is, you know, that's, you know what I mean? You know, we ride out down on campus right around the Range Rover, like, I don't know, this is my nigga, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, as that went on, it was like we ended up signing with Wendell. You know what I mean? And Swift, Los, Redbone at the time, Misdemeanor. We was a crew. We needed beats. Right. So Wendell connected with somebody that knew RJ Rice. Okay. RJ Rice had the studio down at Northland Plaza. Yeah, I remember. Right. Yeah. J Dilla and J Dub was the in-house producers. J Dub was with the Hitman, with Puff now, and Dilla's Dilla. Right. We know Dilla from and because they all both from our hood. We like, oh, you know, that's how it became love. My nigga got bread, so he like, well, he's spending money with him. So as he's spending money, they making a classic for us, a classic album that got erased. Crazy. All Dilla and J Dub, whole album, like 15 songs. That was anyway. So Wendell was like, hey, I want y'all to come to Atlanta. I think we need to record in Atlanta. I got a whole studio. So he moved me, J Dilla, J Dub, Swift, Redbone, and Los, and Philly Blunt to Atlanta. He moved us all out there. So we lived in this big ass spot. Right. Dilla, I'm getting to the story about the crazy Dilla story.
Right.
We playing Mortal Kombat. Dilla get a text message. No, he get a phone call. He was like, hold on, give me 1 second. He talking. He was like, hello? He was like, for real? He was like, all right. He was like, I mean, da-da-da-da-da. So I mean, because we playing like, now imagine, we working on our album, right?
Right.
He was like, man, that was Q-Tip.
Damn.
He was like, for real? He was like, he want me to do the Busta Rhymes remix. Just like that.
Wow.
So I be feeling like you know how Forrest Gump be like all the little crazy spots like in history. Right. You know what I mean?
You said like Fat Joe be sounding like, damn, he be
Everywhere.
everywhere.
I got so many.
Yeah, I know
I'm
you
talking
do.
about legendary shit. Like, so he ended up going to New York. We drove him to the airport. And when he went to New York, the rest is fucking history. That's when Uma was created.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Speaking of that, bro, man, through the grapevine, I heard you was like one of M's favorite MCs, you know.
M used to, like, me and M, like, when I met M was this hungry white kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, we connected at the shelter, because he was in the circuit. It was about me 4 or 5 people. He was right. I was like, dog, you dope as fuck.
Right.
Oh, and we wrote each other's number down, right? And it's so funny because at my old house, I used to have it. I had M number and I had Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan is Paul Rosenberg. People don't know Paul Rosenberg used to rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Rhythm Cartel, yeah.
Right? Yep. So me and Em used to talk on the phone every day. Like that was my dude. Like, we kicked it. Like, you know what I mean? And he was doing that song, what was it? Just the Two of Us.
Yeah.
He was playing, he was like, should I put a baby? Like, I'm gonna put a baby. I'm gonna have my daughter talking on it. Like, so it's funny to hear these songs, you know. So I'll be like, that's crazy, because you know what I mean? Like, when he came back from the Rap Olympics, he called me. Funny story, I'm gonna tell you something crazy. Now, everybody, you know, anybody in the circle know this. Me, Swift, and Red and them used to have this little thing, like, something, shady ass Bahamas, putting contracts on your daddy's and your mama. That was our little line. So the shady tree niggas became stuff that we used to always say. We were the shady niggas. Right. Everybody say shady tree. So when one day M called me. Now, I'm not saying he got this. I'm just saying, like, when he called me, he was like, I know my alias, because we was all coming up with our alias. I was Bareda, a.k.a. Mr. Wrong. Right. Proof was Proof, Dirty Hair. Like, everybody had their little, that's where the a.k.a. come from. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was, because we was all, like, because the Dirty, before it was D2, it was the Dirty Dozen. It was 12 of us at the hip-hop shop. Right. And how that started is a whole nother story. Like, that with KG. Asked me about that later. Right. But, he's like, I came up with my alias. I was like, well, he was like, Slim Shady. I was like, that's dope. But I remember thinking like, but you know, that's just a competitive rap shit. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
like,
talk about y'all record with him, man. You and Swift record, the Raw collection joint y'all had.
Oh, Flawless Victory.
Yeah, talk about that. Y'all was trading bars so scandalous on that record.
Right? Yeah, that song came about because like M, like I said, we always wanted to do like, you know, because we always kind of made like a pact with each other. Like, we ain't about to battle each other. Right. Like, because, you know, they used to put the name in the hat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And pull the name out the hat. We used to be like, we ain't battling each other. But we wanted to get a song with each other. So I was like, let's do the song Flawless Victory. And J-Dub did the beat. Okay. And we had it on A-Dad. It's crazy. And that was probably one of the only songs that got saved. Just on YouTube. Right. Yep, it's called Flawless Victory.
Swifty, Mr. Wrong, a.k.A.Bareda, and Eminem.
Yeah, but yeah, we got a lot of history, man. Like, you know, a lot of history. Like, you know, we went down to the radio station with Billy T and TJ. Remember they? Me, Swift, Eminem. I think Kim was with us. I don't want to lie, but I know she was with us leaving the house that one time. But I don't know if she was with us going to the radio station. I remember Billy T was like, I ain't playing. We was like, nigga, you crazy. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember M being mad as hell. Like, man, this shit's bullshit. Wow. Right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, dog, I'm just thinking like, dog, this nigga sweet as hell. Right. And even the guy who signed us, I brought him. And I always tell him about this. I'll be like, nigga, you fucked up, bro. Right. You know you fucked up. I brought him M and Elzai. This before Elzai was like, because he was a young. I was like, this little nigga cold, bro. Right. And he he pulled up to the hip hop shop and he went over, had his Land Rover, and Elzai got in the back seat and rapped for him. He was like, yeah. He's like, you sound like Nas or something. I was like, nigga, you crazy. You know what I'm saying?
So he had M, y'all, and Elzai.
He had the chance to have all of us signing his label. Yeah. Damn. I always tell him, like, nigga, you took an L on that one, dog. You took
big
an
ass,
L.
big ass L.
Wow, man. Talk about your days with Cha-Cha, man.
Cha-Cha, my little sister.
Man.
Yeah, I met Cha when Cha was like, actually, she was in a group. Her and Keisha, Fire, you Fire, but they was in a group called something because they both Aquarius. It was Aqua, something like that. And I was like, because I knew Keisha from the hood, because Keisha was a hood. I'm talking about she used to have with the bandanas. I'm talking about she was young as hell, like 13, 14 years old, around with bandanas and like motherfucking Crazy Horse with the bandana around. I'm like, you a little kid. Like, what is it?
Too serious.
Because she was hanging with my nigga E. Johnson. E. Johnson was a hood nigga, like, and it was like his little dog or something. I'm like, no, she need to be at school, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all go to jail. So, we when she introduced me to her rap partner, it was Cha-Cha. Cause I was like, So Cha rap, I was like, she cold.
Wow.
Now Keisha was cold too, but Cha-Cha was like, she was like me. She was lyrical. Like, I was like, ooh. Right. So I'm about to put them on. I'm about to try to get y'all a deal. Fuck this shit. I'm always a nigga always trying to get somebody. You know what I mean? I ain't even know at the time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm about to get y'all a deal. They end up falling out for whatever reason. So I had met Cha's mom, and by Cha being so young, her mom was like, you like her big brother, so I'm putting responsibility on you. Right. I was like, let's take her to Atlanta and try to get her a deal. Mm-hmm. And she was like 17 at this time. Because I first met, she was like 13, 14. So time went on. I'm taking her to the hip hop shop. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're trying to get her bones up, right? So we end up taking her to Atlanta. And now I'm kind of like, I'm kind of responsible. Right. Introduce her to Wendell. Ironically, Wendell used to go with her cousin. Mm. So like they all knew, so it was like, so they ended up taking her to Noontime. So at the time, Noontime had Ashanti. Yeah, they had Ashanti. They had,
that's how they close like that.
They had quite a few. You know what I'm saying? They was doing their thing, Noonie and all them, Chris. You know what I mean? And I'm walking in with her like big bro. You feel me? Like, and the window like, this is my artist. Bareda, So he gonna be, So I'm just vibing with her. She write her own shit, but. Right. I'm vibing with her on, how big, like, hey, be dope, so we end up just tag team, so she just came out super dope, you know what I mean? And she came out, and Cha would have been out of here, Hall of Fame, if it wasn't for the fact that she dropped the same weekend as Eve, and Eve had the whole Rough Rider machine behind her.
Y'all look under Cha-Cha, man. Google that, man. Dear Diary was the name of the album.
Didn't she have a song with Nas or something?
Yeah, Nas.
Cha was actually
Trick Daddy.
Cha was gonna be the female in the Murder Inc. camp. Remember they was about to do a Murder Inc. group with Jay-Z.
Yeah, right.
She was gonna be the female. They wanted her to be the female in that group.
Damn.
Cause she did a song with her. It was me. It was her, Ja Rule, me, Los. And Black Tie, I think it was. But she was supposed to be doing a song with Jay-Z. Right. And she had a lot of people on her album. Like, Child, man, that album was classic. Yeah. Yeah. She was crazy.
Yeah. So, going back to the Lyricist Lounge, I remember seeing it. You was on one of the episodes. It was you and the Brat, right?
Yeah. That actually was my first skit was the one I did with Traci Ross, and that was kind of like by mistake. Right. Because I actually was hired on the show as a writer. Okay. Like, I wasn't hired in as an actor or, you know what I mean? I came in as a writer. Right. It's just like, what happened was I auditioned with that verse, with the one with me talking. So, funny story. I get there, it's a line around the block for auditions, right? Def Jeff kind of ushered me. He was like, come on, I'm about to get you in. He was like, come on. So I end up going in. Right. He was like, when you come in, he was like, just, I was like, what you want me to do? He was like, just rap. He was like, you ain't got to do nothing, just rap. Just bust a verse. I was like, all right, I got it. Now, in my head, I'm thinking like, because I always write story raps. Like, that's always been my thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Writing story raps. So I was like, I got a verse where I'm spitting game. Bump it. So I said, the first woman I see, I'm zooming in on her. Right. So they opened the door. They was like, but it fucked me up because when I walk in, I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like, just some people just in there kind of like. Right. They got 3 big ass cameras. It's a whole bunch of people, and it's a big-ass table with about 8 people behind it. They go, all these people. I'm like, oh, shit. And they put, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, they put on Bitch
You
Please.
thought it was going to be like 4 people or something.
Right, I think it's going to be like 2, you know what I mean? Like, you know, audition, go ahead, Dax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got a whole production up. I'm like, oh,
God
shit.
damn.
So I walk in, they got the lights and shit. I'm like, they was like, Bareda, so, signed to da.
Right.
Go ahead. They put on a Bitch Please.
Right.
And I was just like, so in my head, because it's this thing I used to do at the hip hop shop, I wasn't doing it on purpose.
Right.
But what I would do is like, I'm gonna catch the beat, but it's like, it causes that anticipation. So I'm like, excuse me, and I start rapping to the lady that's sitting right here. It's this dark skinned lady, right? At the time, her name is Pam, and not knowing who she was at the time, but she's like a big casting director, right? Okay. So I'm talking to her. I said a whole verse. Baby girl, you look beautiful. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I walked out of the room. And I walked out. Boom. So I'm in the hallway. So everybody, they like, what happened? I was like, I just rapped, nigga. They was like, what they say? I was like, I don't know. I just walked out. They was like, you just walked out? Like, what you mean? Because I'm thinking like, do my thing, I'm out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Kenny Barnes like, nigga, take your ass back in there.
Right.
So, but when I'm about to grab the door, Def Jeff walk out. Boom. He's like, let me talk to you for a minute. I'm like, damn, I fucked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking like, do my thing, get the fuck on.
Right.
He was like, nigga, with the walkout. It was like, with the walkout, nigga, you guilty.
Right.
You guilty. I was looking like, for real. It was like, they going crazy.
That's crazy.
Hey, we got to interview Def Jeff.
Yeah,
man.
that's dope.
Man. Yeah.
Man, classic.
Yeah.
Man.
So once that happened, they told me they ain't had no more roles left, but they wanted to hire me in as a writer. They was like, can you write more stuff like that?
Wow.
I was like, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff like that. They was like, we want to bring you as a writer. I was like, cool. That's how I got my first writing chops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as I'm a writer, Claude Brooks. I don't remember Claude Brooks, the actor. He was
yeah.
Blazing Saddles or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. He was the executive producer of Lyricist Lounge. So he came to my dressing room.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He came to my dressing room and was like, hey, bro, I need an actual question. He was like, I want to do that verse you said. I want to do a skit.
Right.
I was like, all right. He was going to have Wordsworth do it.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
He was going to have Wordsworth do it. And Wordsworth was like, he came to me, he was like, nah, dog, you do that.
Right.
He was like, you should do that. He was like, that's your shit, do it.
Right.
I was like, I'll do it. And then Claude was like, would you be willing to do it? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, bitch, I'm about to be on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So now I'm like, oh shit, so I'm rehearsing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, we're going to have you and one of the actresses on here, Traci Ellis-Ross. She's Diana Ross's daughter.
Right.
So I had already seen her. I just didn't know she was Diana Ross's daughter. You know what I'm saying? So so we started practicing with each other. So we in each other's dressing room, like, every day practicing.
Right.
I became my dog. Like, that's my dog, Tracy. Cool as fuck. Like, for real. Like, you know what I mean?
That's dope, man.
Yeah, we had a thing called the Writer's House. That's another story. Anyway, so we going through the rehearsal or whatever. The particular day when it's time to do it. So I'm thinking like, oh, shit. So it's a big-ass studio audience. And what's my man name? He the nigga from Chris, he a comedian. Anyway, when you see him, you know what I'm talking about. He was the one who got everybody hyped in the stands.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? The little...
So hyper up, right?
Hush there that day. Man, Hush is here that day. It's crazy. Because Hush was like, Bareda. I'm like, oh, shit. He was like, what up, boy?
Right.
So I went to the audience, I was like, oh, right. So we go in. They did like 4 or 5 skits before mine. And they had to keep redoing it, because people kept messing,
Right.
It's like,
And it's in front of a live audience, right.
So my shit come up.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
So I go in, I do this, I walk in, me, D'Artadian, and whatever. We I forget my nigga name, but we walk to the thing, Tracy Ross, she's sitting at the table, and I start spitting. Bam.
Right.
The reason why, if you ever watch it, you hear the crowd erupts,
right,
is because I did it a one take. And did it the whole thing through. So when I said, baby girl, you look at me, will enjoy the rest of your evening. And it was like, they was like, because it was like, this nigga came through and did it the one take.
Boy,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you Gorilla Mac that boy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Right? Funny.
Hey, to work with the Queen of Detroit's daughter, bro. That's like, how many rappers work with man, Diana Ross, his family,
Right.
bro.
Yeah, we used to talk
like,
about
for
that
real.
too. Her family still live. A lot of her family still live here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
dope, bro.
And that's dope that it's full circle, that Detroit connection.
Yeah, of
like
course.
That.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
Man, talk about first cousins, man.
Yeah, my cuz, man.
Rest in peace.
E-Dog, Young Tone, Free Young Tone.
Legendary Detroit hip hop right there.
Yeah, that's my cousin. They I mean, that's really who inspired everything me and Swift ever did. Like, because that was our sensei. That was our, and my cousin. You a history of my cousin. My cousin, he was a street legend. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people knew E from the streets because he was one of the young dudes that was out here like getting money back when he was like 17, 18 years old. He was getting money. So he ended up getting paralyzed in a situation. But at this point, he had already, he had so much love, and you know what I mean.
Right.
He always been in the music, and he was always my favorite rapper. Like, and I used to be like, dog, he's sweet as hell. Like, I used to be like, dog, my cousin's sweet to the mother. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be like, man, if niggas could hear you, bro. So when me and Swift decided that we gonna start talking about shit that we do, because I was selling weed at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we started, we more and more hood because the older we get. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna just talk about the shit we do.
Right.
My cousin was already in that formula. Like, and his pockets used to be like, because he was the first, like, and this is a true story. I'm talking about crazy. My cousin introduced us to this nigga named Big West in L.A. Big West is Suge Knight's brother. This before, the whole situation.
Right.
My cousin was going out there because my cousin was doing business.
Right.
With this dude out there at the barbershop that knew Suge Knight. He gave Suge Knight his little EP, and then one of the name of the song was called "Headed to the Dog Pound." I was like, "I'm headed to the dog pound." Right. I was talking about jail. Right. Suge them wanted to sign my cousins and them, but my cousin them was on some street shit. These niggas was like, nigga, because they some Detroit niggas.
Yeah. They was like, we ain't rapping this shit.
He was like, I got this artist named Snoop Eastwood. He kept saying, I got this artist named Snoop Eastwood. He crazy. Snoop Eastwood. He kept saying the whole, so all we knew was Snoop Eastwood. When Dre came out and dropped, and he was Snoop Doggy Dogg, it was like, it's crazy. He was like in the dog pound. My cousin was like, you whole ass niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dog, like, and we all knew it. It was like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Now, like I said, it could be a coincidence, but I doubt it. You know what I mean? Especially because they was working out. Because even if somebody brought it up, nobody else knew. That's what happened. You know what I mean? But to answer your question, him and my other cousin Tone, they got together and put out an album, and they dropped one album, and it became like a hood classic. You know what I mean? It became like a hood classic, and them boys was crazy, man. And God rest my cousin, so
rest in peace, E.
He rest in peace, E. Man,
I picked him up one day, and we rode to the studio, man. Had a good time. Bro.
Yeah, man. He always talked about you, man. Like,
that was my guy.
He fucked with you tough, you know. And then my cousin Tone, he locked up, but he'll be out, he got a nice little minute, but he'll be out soon, man. Shout out to Young Tone. Yeah.
So where about? So after the rabies, when did the Raw collection come? How did that come about?
Raw collection started when I came back from LA from doing Lyricist Lounge show and whatever case. I came back at this point. Eminem had dropped. I seen M at the Source Awards or the BET Awards, one of them, when he had his name was lighting up on the shirt. Remember he first performed?
Yeah, I remember that.
I was in the front row. I was sitting next to Will Smith.
Damn.
Right, because Kenny Burns was like, we need some seats. So Andre Harrell gave us his seats.
Right.
So I'm sitting right next to Will, and Will Smith next to Charlie Mack. I remember he kept saying, I was like, damn, this motherfucker Charlie Mack. First I thought about it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Charlie Mack.
I'm thinking like, damn, like,
I was big for it.
I was supposed to get to see Charlie Mack. You know what I'm saying? Damn, this motherfucker Charlie Mack. You know what I'm saying?
He was the G out the grill.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So at the time, when we on tour with Outkast, we came back.
Right.
So Outkast won an award. They won an award, and like if you ever see that one, this ain't the one they said Soft's got something to say. This was another legendary one though. This one, what's that for? This one, that album was out.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the Hot Boys was there. This one, the Hot
Oh,
Boys
yeah,
there.
when
They had these, what's the name when they paying them? What's the name? Pressed the shit out them niggas.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, Big Western pressed the shit out them niggas. Like, nigga, gee, it ain't like that. It's crazy, but, you know. The Source Boys used to be hood as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, niggas don't when they go to commercial, nigga, you feel like the lights came over motherfucking jeans and more wet. You know what I'm saying? Like, cut the lights on, cut the music back on, bro. They gonna get the fight.
Wow.
Like, it felt like that.
Yeah.
Like, cause people walking out their seats, it's like gang members. I was like, damn, this shit crazy.
Damn.
You know?
Right.
And so I seen M performing. I mean, he walking past, he shook Will Smith's hand. I tapped his hand. I was like, what up? He was like, Bareda, what the fuck? He was like,
Right.
oh. He's like, I need you to come to the studio tonight.
Damn.
He's like, come to the studio tonight, bro. I need to kick. I was like, all right, cool. I get in the car, me, Kenny, Andre Harrell, and we heading to the hotel. I'm telling Kenny, like, dog, we got to get this. I got it. And he was like, no, we got too many parties tonight. I was like,
Right.
dog, you wildin'. Like, dog,
fuck
this
them
shit
parties, right.
So I ended up not making it. And somebody, a rumor came out and said I felt like I was too good or some shit.
Oh,
You know, some
man.
shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like,
Right.
I'm like, that shit is insane. Like, I'm
Right.
talking about, and it's so crazy because I was so pissed because I stayed downstairs when him and Andre Harrell all went upstairs. I guess they had to go through whatever they had to went through.
Right.
I'm sitting downstairs for like an hour and a half, dog, and I mean, there's a bunch of groupies. I was like, hey, what's your name? I was like, hey,
Right.
I'm like, you come here, like, you know. So I'm having a ball, but at the same time, I'm like, I could be.
You could be working
You know
with
what I
him,
mean?
right. Right.
And then after that, I'm kind of just, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it was always love. It was just more or less, I guess, miscommunication came about, and I was like, man, y'all niggas crazy, bro. Like,
Right.
I would have been there.
So they thought going
bells
out to
on.
partying was more important than you going to the
Absolutely.
studio.
Because
right.
M wasn't M. He had just dropped, hi, my
Yeah,
name is,
yeah.
and it was like, hey, like, okay.
Right.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Not knowing what was to
damn.
come. But
Yeah.
I knew because I'm like, I've been telling people for years, like,
Right.
nigga, just watch.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And as soon as, you know, I was like, I knew it. I fucking told y'all, idiots.
Man, speaking of that, man, what is your next adventures, man? You've been talking about films and music.
Yeah,
what you got going on next, man? You know.
Well, because I want to kind of keep a look, you know, they say don't put it out there until it's completely ready to be put out there. So I'm just gonna say, I got a situation where I'm doing a couple of films, and I'm doing a couple of TV shows. 'Cause I've been writing for a while,
Right.
and I wanted to be done right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be done right. So I've been patient and was like, you know, I'm gonna wait because I don't want to just, you know, no disrespect to what everybody else doing, hustle, get it. But as an artist, anybody else, if you got a vision for it, you got a vision for it. Like, I don't want to see it done on a blue paper. I'll wait and get the green like I want. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been doing. I've been waiting, and you know, the universe said, you know, now is the time. So, we're gonna rewind this one day and talk about, and we can talk about it. I just wanna, but it's something that's gonna be huge for the city.
Okay.
I'm talking about absolutely huge for the city. You know what I mean? So, like, one of them ones that that we'll talk about for a long, long time.
Man, your history, I think you got one. So when we talked to Jack Frost, it was like all these different connections, right?
Yeah, they say
And
Suge Knight, man. Everybody
man, you'd be
Suge Knight.
surprised how many Detroit cats we
Say
talked
Suge
to
Knight.
from back late 80s to mid to early 2000s. Like, it seemed like everybody had a death row story tied in there somewhere in their journey. So that's deep.
Yeah, and I got an even deeper death row story. When Kenny Burns and Vincent, when we got our label in LA, and I moved from Detroit to LA,
right?
They rented out the Can-Am studio.
Yeah.
So I recorded my whole album out of the Death Row studio, like, and it was like hand to the man, like it was bullet holes in the window outside of this, and they said it was because Suge used to have people like test the window,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But it was like, and you could see the bullet. I was like, it's crazy. Like, yeah, they like this what the Death Row symbol used to be.
Right.
I'm like, that's crazy. I'm talking about, you know, I'm talking about historic rooms. I'm in this, like, you know what I mean? Crazy though. But yeah, we was in the same studios as Death Row the whole time I was in LA.
Wow,
that's dope.
Yeah,
man. What's your words to Detroit hip hop, man?
Detroit hip hop.
Just Detroit rap culture, period. Man, you've been a traveling man with this game for a long time. You touch the best. You don't work with the best. what you got to say, you know, young and old style, you know?
Man, you know what? Honestly, bro, like, and I don't want to sound corny with this, but just hear what I'm saying. Unity. Like, real talk. I feel like if you get certain people to start doing songs with other people, like, you're going to get both crowds.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, imagine Rock Bottom do a song with, you know, Tron. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever the case may be, and you start intertwining these things that it make it so much bigger. Like, if you watch the MCU, it's like this shit just keep getting bigger because they keep adding more components.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Add something that's a little different than what you are. It's just going to make the pot double. You can't keep putting basil in it over and over. It's like, man, this motherfucker too basil in me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to start putting onion powder,
flavor,
garlic, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, different things in it to make it what it is. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, like unity, bro, like I feel like, you know, it's a lot of like super duper dope talent in the city. I feel like it's a lot of superstars in the city. Like, but and I'm gonna be real, like it's more superstars that people ain't heard than it is that I haven't heard. Right. And that's facts. Right. Like I'm talking about, I done heard people. I'm like, dog, how the world ain't heard of you? Like this shit crazy. Right. You know what I mean? Those type of people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like start adding those people into the equation. You know, different stuff like that. But yeah, man, like you know, but keep pushing because we doing a lot. We doing a lot more than. I'm glad the door opened for us.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad the door opened for us. And they didn't even open for us. They really kicked that bitch in. Right. Like, to be honest with you, they really kicked it in.
I think it was a lot of politics with our era. Just, you know, just like these young guys not really playing a blackball game.
Yeah, we had a lot of that shit.
And we had, back then, you had to go through.
You know what I mean?
We had too much.
You had to go through radio to get heard and all of that. Now,
man, you had to go through politics. You had to go through. It was more politics. I'm talking about street politics, hood, friends, and
everybody passing each other a shit list. You know, they you know, obey the shit list, and that's what.
And that shit just kind of like, and that's terrible, bro. That's terrible.
Man, can you give us some bars, man, before you leave? That's 8 bars, 16.
I put him on the spot, man.
Damn, that's
he
crazy.
write movies now, man.
Now this verse, I can spit some shit, man. But by the time this motherfucker come out, like you know what I'm saying, like you might shout out to Bazaar. You know what I'm saying, Marv.
Yeah, Biz.
You know what I mean? Just give you a preview of you know, what we working on. I say see, my strategy and methods always calculated. So if I'm plotting on your block, you better evacuate it. Because I come up in this bitch like Godzilla himself and wipe your house off the land, leave him trapped in the basement. See, I'm like Freddy Krueger Jason mixed with dude from Scream. And my niggas got a list of shit they do for cream. So if I ever get the notion to bury you in the ocean, the only way they gonna find you is with a scuba team. See, I'ma elevate the game to where it's supposed to be, hopefully, because most of these niggas is nowhere dope as me, noticeably. Guess I chose to be this voguey even overseas, found no one come close to me locally, even globally. Out of the host to see Bang 11, Main 7, blow his top off, give him the James Evans, same reference, as if I said it with same intent, instead push his wig back and take him to the cleaners. George Jefferson, so Lord help him, my hallelujah, put hollows through you. Follow through and say, fuck your position, Kama Sutra. I ain't gonna shoot you, probably fool you like Saddam or do you. Find them same missiles in them trunk that they found in Cuba.
Hey, that's why I ain't rap at the hip hop shop one time. So Proof, a little backstory. So Proof would get cool with you, right? And then he'd be like, you know, Proof always tried to support anybody he thought was halfway dope.
Oh, yeah.
One day he gave me the mic, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna come back next week. I heard these niggas rap. I was like, no, I gotta tighten up.
With the St. Ives juices in
yeah,
right.
Gotta tighten up.
Listen, that was
tighten up. Yo, that shit was funny.
So what we used to do is, like, we're gonna get the, remember the St. Ives used to have, like, the little juices and shit.
Yeah.
So we'll pour half of it out and do a half pint of bumpy face. Just single to put in there, shake it up. We called it the 420 because it cost $4.20.
Right.
Like, we had no idea that 420 meant weed. Like, we did. Right. 420 to us meant, like, because it cost $4.20. Like, go around 420.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
Man, thanks again to the Hip Hop Shop alumni up in here, Mr. W.
You know what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Raw Collection.
For
man,
real, man.
Rabies, all that, you know?
Yeah, man. We could talk for days. And I got so much information.
We gonna get you back, man. Funky Fresh in the flesh.
You feel me? Funky Fresh in the flesh. You know what I'm
Words
saying?
to Raw Collection. Talk that shit now.
You feel me? For real.
We out.
Peace, yo.
W.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. That was dope, man.
Appreciate you, fam.